Hello there! It's once again time to look forward to the next month of video game releases, from the AAA to the free-to-play, and the hidden gems along the way. Speaking of hidden gems, today's sponsor is Radical Theory and Rooftops and Alleys, a parkour game made by a single developer. More on that very soon, and as always, your monthly dad jokes will be at the end of the video. July 2025, new games, let's do this! The headliner of July is the return of Tony Hawk, this time bringing back Pro Skater 3 and 4. The much-loved series that has been remade with some new additions, but also noteworthy, a few removed elements. Everyone knows the formula of Tony Hawk's by now, as we are given a couple of minutes to build up a high score through trick combos and specific challenges. But Pro Skater 4 changed all that years ago by adding a career mode, yet in this version it has been scrapped. No career mode, no free roam, and none of those little mini-games. The focus remains on short runs and finding the perfect lines on each level as quick as possible. Tony Hawk 3 and 4 also drops a few maps. There's no Chicago or Carnival, but they do make up for it by introducing new levels, like a water park and a movie studio to explore. With over 30 pro skaters included, and even the TMNT are here this time around. The real question is, are you as good at it now as you were back in 2001? Good luck finding out. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 comes to the PlayStations, the Xboxes, the Switches, and the PC on July 11th. Next, a game for Souls-like purists, Wuchang Fallen Feathers. Let me start with the story. We play as a pirate who wakes up with a bout of amnesia and discovers she has a disease known as the feathering, which transforms the victim into a monster slowly, starting off with literal feathers growing on them. Wuchang decides to find a cure and discovers the feathering has given her magical powers, but also makes her a target for anyone in sight. So she has to fight. The gameplay follows FromSoft's lead, with timing-based melee brawls, but there is a change to note as each of the 25 weapon types are unique, as some don't have the ability to parry, and others cannot block at all. So there's a risk-reward to each decision that you make. Luckily, we always have access to magic and of course a dodge button. The depth goes further than that, with a skill tree to spec out and resistances to build up. If you're taking too much sword damage, work on your slashing resilience. If you're taking too much damage from hammers, then work on your bludgeoning resistance. Wuchang Fallen Feathers lands on PS5, Xbox Series and PC on July 24th. A multiplayer game that has a great deal of potential is Wildgate, a first-person shooter in space, which is part heist, part extraction shooter, and completely like Sea of Thieves in space. It starts off with choosing your ship, and that can be anything from slow and strong to fast and agile, but with much less defenses. We have to keep it running at all times, because if that goes down, it's game over. We then explore the galaxy with our crewmates, finding gear and upgrades. But the thing to remember is that the better the loot you find, the more protected it's likely to be, and potentially more real-life players will be here looking for the same plunder. Rival squads can even board your ship while you're out and take your stuff without you knowing. The real MacGuffin of the game is known as the artifact, the rarest of items which everyone on the server wants. Can your squad grab it and escape? I think it sounds like it's going to be an amazing game, which drops on July 22nd on the PS5, the Xbox Series and PC. Take a look at Rooftops and Alleys, a parkour game. In this one, we run, flip, dodge and dive through each stage, whether that's a container ship or a high-rise construction site. It's easy to pick up and learn a few tricks, but tough to master the depth. Luckily, there's ragdoll physics. From smashing your face into blunt objects makes failures more amusing than frustrating. The control scheme and trick system was built for controller players in mind, although keyboard and mouse is supported too. And with a bunch of game modes, from time trials to trick stages to multiplayer capture the flag, and even a simple game of tag with your friends. There's tons of things to do, solo or in groups. You can even play as a pigeon to freely move around and find the best lines possible. No need to wait for this one. Rooftops and Alleys is out right now on PS5, Xbox Series and PC, priced at $25 US, that's 25 euros or 20 quid if you're here in the UK. Very affordable. If you'd like to know more, check out the link in the description. Okie dokie, let's jump into free-to-play games, and this month is all over the place. First, any fans of football here? I don't mean standard football, I mean American football. Maximum Football indeed, released last week on the PS5 with version 1.0 alongside PC and Xbox. And I'll be totally honest, I do not have a clue about American football, so I'm just gonna read the blurb this time. Maximum Football delivers authentic gameplay and complete control, letting you build your football universe on your terms. From customizing your team to calling the plays, every decision is yours. Take on the ultimate challenge in College Dynasty mode by recruiting, developing and coaching your team to national dominance. Face off against rivals in local and online multiplayer, or test your strategy and instincts in coach mode. If that sounds like your kind of game, Maximum Football is free to play right now. Next, we have Mecha Break, the Gundam-style hero shooter which looks like Armored Core crossed with Zone of Enders. Arrives in early access on July 2nd. Well, before any PlayStation players get hyped for that, a quick note, the PS5 isn't invited to the early access period, it's only for PC and Xbox. I reached out to the studio to ask for more info, but they said they were unable to talk about the PlayStation launch until after the Xbox release. Read into that whatever you will, but they did confirm Mecha Break is coming to PlayStation later this year. I'll cover that launch and the classes and the game modes in more depth when the PS5 date is announced. But if you're on PC and Xbox, July 2nd, Mecha Break is yours. Next, the dreaded E-word, an educational game. This is Climate Station on the PlayStation 5 and PSVR 2. In this one, we look at the Earth and how environmental change affects the world we live in. It's essentially a great deal of stats shown through infographics and videos and follows the devastation of things like earthquakes and hurricanes. As a learning tool, it's very good, but don't go into this one expecting a boss fight with Gaia. Climate Station is out right now for free on PlayStation 5 and PSVR 2. And one more free-to-play update. Since we looked at Splitgate 2 last month, a new game mode has arrived, Battle Royale. In this one, 15 teams of 4 drop in and battle it out to be the last squad standing. Usual BR stuff. The map is made up of 5 biomes, and like typical BR, we loot up and fight, taking items from the deceased. Splitgate 2 is not having the greatest of times right now. It's out right now for free on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, the Xboxes, and the P to the C. Okay, back to priced games now, and a tactical first-person shooter I've been looking forward to. Ready or Not finally makes its way to PlayStation 5 and Xbox this month. We are a member of a SWAT team in the midst of a crime wave, and unlike other games that do a similar sort of thing, Ready or Not prides itself on being as realistic as possible. One well-placed shot and it's over, so tactical strategies are the main focus. That said, we are welcome to approach missions as we see fit, but you'll get more points for arrests than body bags, if you know what I mean. At its core, Ready or Not is a co-op PvE game against AI enemies, and that AI can be as skilled as John Wick, which makes for some super tense standoffs. And a competitive mode is on the way too. Ready or Not hits PS5 and Xbox Series on July 15th. The Ninja Gaiden revival is continuing in 2025, but this time it's back to the side-scrolling action in Ragebound. Presented in this gorgeous pixel art style, we venture into an untold Ninja Gaiden story with old-school visuals, but also with modern-day sensibilities like the lightning-fast combat and incredibly punishing gameplay. This time we play as a character trained by Ryu Hayabusa with new abilities, like an early mechanic is the Guillotine Boost, which lets us chain jumps and attacks together seamlessly to get to places we shouldn't be able to, uncovering new secrets. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound drops on almost every platform on July 31st. A game delayed from earlier in the year is finally landing in July, Killing Floor 3. The first-person survival horror shooter has a relatively small but dedicated fan base who have followed the series since 2009. The quickest way to describe Killing Floor is to compare it to Call of Duty Zombies. The Zeds in this game are bioengineered and come with upgrades designed to track you and your team down. Killing Floor 3 features 6 playable classes, from a boring medic to a katana-wielding ninja or a more traditional sharpshooter. Take out the hordes and survive long enough, and the attention of chimera bosses are coming your way. Killing Floor 3 drops on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and PC on July 24th, and of course supports crossplay. Another retro series is back this month, Patapon, the beloved rhythm games on the PSP in which our inputs march a tiny army across the screen as we fight other tribes and monsters. This version is Patapon 1 and Patapon 2 Replay, marking the first time I believe ever that Patapon isn't a PlayStation exclusive, coming to Switch, PC and of course PS5 on July 11th. We did it! That's another monthly games video done and dusted, so I owe you some dad jokes, like this one. Which fruit loves to play on slides? It's the kiwi! My teacher asked me to name 2 structures that can hold water. I was like, well, damn. Get it? It's bad. I didn't say they were good, alright? There was a long line outside the men's hairdressers today. Turns out it was a barbecue. Oh, that's bad. I accidentally took my cat's medication last night. Don't ask me how. Meow. I'm Adam, you're awesome. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you next time. Meow.